her night was last night. Wonder if this crisis is coming to an end soon. Wonder what her trigger was this time and what I can do to fix it. I really need to spend some time with my husband, just him and I. Should I use my FMLA this week? I wonder when her next appointment is and if it's gonna require me to reschedule my mom's appointment. Is she hydrating? Is she drinking enough? I'm gonna for sure have to reschedule my appointment that I have. I am so ready for this caregiver summit.
Well, hello everyone. What is this? Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday? It is Wednesday. Hi everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is Sharonda and I am here to have a chat with you and you and you. So if you're on here, please make sure that you are talking to me, talk back to me, say hello, say something to me, let me know that you are here. This is just a quick chat with one of our title sponsors. Well, I'm sorry, one of our sponsors. Dang it, I was going to just announce that their title after that. Oh, well, you already know our sponsor. Oh, it's over here. Vertex is here today. We're having a chat with them. But guess what, y'all? In the middle of the day, we have a very special guest. Before I even bring on the sponsor, we have one of our superstars. It is Dr. Lakia Bailey. Woohoo!
Hello. Hey, Sharonda.
Hey, how are ya?
I am good. I'm good. Coming out the hospital, getting my energy back. How are you?
Listen, I love that. Getting my energy back. I'm gonna have to put that on the shirt. How are you? Getting my energy back. That's what I'm going to put on there. I love it. I'm doing well. It is the day before the summit. So of course everything is crazy.
Absolutely.
Prepare for it, but it's going to be great. I think it's going to be super amazing. So we're just here to have a conversation, with some people. And first of all, people really want to know how Dr. Bailey is doing. So I'm glad that you were able to join us and say hello to all the people. We had a speaker run through yesterday, and everybody was just over the moon that Dr. Bailey was there at that speaker run through. So welcome, Dr. Bailey, to our midday chat on the consortium's page. So everybody, if you're here, I see somebody just signed in. If you're here, please put in the chat and just say hi to me. Like, don't have me sitting here talking by myself. Talk back, respond, say hello. So Dr. Bailey,
Yes, ma'am.
tomorrow the summit starts. It begins.
It is here.
It is here.
We have been preparing and planning, and now we're here.
We are absolutely here. Y'all, this summit, first of all, before we bring on our very special guest, this summit was requested by the community, and it is literally planned by the community for the community. So if you've ever been to an event that the Sickle Cell Consortium has hosted, you already know we don't play games when it comes to our community. We make sure that all of the sessions are for us, by us, and we make sure that you guys are getting all of the sessions that you requested. So if you have never been to a summit, especially a caregiver summit, you still can't register just because it's starting tomorrow. Does not mean you cannot register. It is all virtual. So get to your computer, sit back, get you something to drink, some water, hydrate, and join us. So let me go ahead and introduce. Well, Dr. Bailey, you can introduce them because I've talked enough, but you can introduce our title sponsor for the third annual Caregiver Summit.
I would love to. And hello, everyone. I am so thrilled to be here and glad to connect with you all about this incredibly important meeting that is designed by and for caregivers. Sharonda and I are warriors, but we know the value of caregivers. All of us do. We have our own caregivers that we love and value. And so many of you have been saying for a few years, we should do something for caregivers. And it wasn't until we were joined by Carly of Cleverly Changing, and she's like, hey, let's do something for caregivers. And I was like, yeah, I would love to, but we're going to need support because we already host so many other meetings and so many other things. And she's like, oh, I'll take it on. And with her support, and then, of course, us working together, this summit is now in its third year. And It is in large part because of our sponsors and the very special title sponsor, Vertex Pharmaceuticals. So let's welcome in our special guests, Scott McGowan and Tasha Lee from Vertex Pharmaceuticals. Hi, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to this session so that we can just talk a little bit about the awesome things Vertex is doing. Tell us a little bit why it's important to you to support the Caregiver Summit, and let's talk about the summit and what people can expect. So let's get some introductions. Who wants to take it off?
Tasha, let's have you lead.
Thanks. So I'm Tasha Lee. I'm with Vertex Pharmaceuticals Incorporated, where I lead our patient advocacy and our hematology portfolio, which is sickle cell disease and beta thalassemia. And I am so excited to be part of this year's summit again. Last year I had to miss it for a bit because I was out on maternity leave. But my little sickle cell champion will be in the background on some of the discussions. So we are so looking forward to it kicking off tomorrow. Scott?
Hi. So yeah, you're advocate in training, as we call
Advocate in training. That was it. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Scott McGowan. I also work at Vertex in our policy and alliance development team. So getting to work with the community, for the community, and also trying to figure out all the various steps we need to put into place to make sure that warriors and their caregivers and their physicians get to choose whatever the right treatment is, whatever the right medical intervention might be, or just simply whatever they might need to live their best, healthiest lives, living well with sickle cell. So it has been a pleasure to get to know all of you. It has been a pleasure to support this event now for 3 years straight since it first began. And I always am amazed coming out of any consortium event, because it's not simply a time to celebrate such an incredible opportunity to gather community, to celebrate, to educate, and to organize. But also, instead of resting, then they come up with the 3 additional things they will take on, they will plan, they will bring into existence, like this Caregiver Summit. So we're so excited for the 3rd. We know that it's going to be better than the first 2 somehow, and just very excited to be here.
Whoops. Well, thank you so much for being here, Sharonda and I and everyone. We're just really, really excited. Putting it that way sounds so stressful, because we do, don't we? We take on a new 3 things. Oh, the way you phrase that. But we used to do that annually. Now the new 3 things is every other year. So I think we started learning that was a big thing to bite off. But this Caregiver Summit is so important to us, and it's incredibly important to us to have it run by caregivers for caregivers, so that they can define what it is that they need and how they'd like this to look. And we do have some pretty cool things scheduled.
Speaking of cool things, tell me a little bit about progress. I see that that's early in the agenda, and I have that one started as one. I'm like, what's that priority going to be like?
That is a pre-con that we're doing as part of a research project with PCORI and our director of research, Dr. Ramona Lawrence, with her colleague, Dr. Talisha Mayo Gamble. And it's about patient-reported outcomes. Now, unfortunately, that is a closed session. This first convening is for patients and caregivers, so that we can define the patient-reported outcomes that are in the literature. Is this correct? Do we need to add anything, change anything? Where it's about patient-reported outcomes. And this initial convening is really focused on that. There will be a second convening that then will be open to many others, including you all. And these convenings they're really focused on the PRO in progress, patient-reported outcomes. So we're really, really excited to be able to do it at the Caregiver Summit as part of the pre-con. And it's like a continuation of the research that we've been doing for a few years now. A grant we had with PCORI, project we did with Charles, there's this grant, and it just all continues to tell the story about prioritizing patients and caregivers and what it is, how we see the world and what's important to us.
Absolutely. And also looking beyond pain. Pain is such a critical component of measuring and looking at what a warrior's journey is like, but there's so much beyond that. We know that sickle cell is wherever blood flows, and it has many impacts beyond that. So people-powered research and patient-powered research is really critical here. So really excited to see that.
We're really excited too, and to be able to just share that more broadly after this initial pre-con, it's I think it's needed. And going beyond the pain, like you said, it's so incredibly important because that is the first thing you see. It's the first thing we feel. But this disease, of course, is so much bigger than that. And the things that we care about tend to be so much more diverse than just the pain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Rhonda, I was going to call you up because I think that, well, one, your joy is so infectious. We always need it. But two, I think everybody already knows who you are as well. But did you wanted to say anything about that?
Of course. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I forgot to do that part. Hi, everyone. I found that we have a lot of new registrants for the Caregiver Summit. And I was like, wait a minute. So you guys may not know who I am. I am Sharonda Sykes. I am the Director of Operations over here at the SC3 Sickle Cell Consortium. And I absolutely love what I do. I work hand in hand with Dr. Bailey. And of course, who we cannot forget is Mother Doors. Okay. Because she is the money lady, but she is our director of finance, and I'm the director of operations. Of course, everybody knows our executive director. She always says, "Oh, I'm just Dr. Lakia Bailey." She's the executive director, everyone, of the Sickle Cell Consortium. And yes, I love the fact that we are able to do progress. I've been like this. So first of all, everybody, if you know me, you know I'm not really into research like that. Like if you give me graphics and events, woohoo, you got me. But research, I'm like, hold on. And I had the opportunity to be a part of this conversation. And of course, I'm doing a lot of stuff on the back end, but on the front end, just learning about, the research and what they are actually going to be accomplishing with this particular session. I'm like, yes, we need to have the voices of the community. And I'm so super excited that we're continuously including that. We always say at the consortium that we're bridging that gap. We make sure that there's a voice at every table. Like we have to have a seat, and if there's not a table that we're invited to, we build one, we make one, we create one, we set it ourselves, and then invite the others. And I think these are some of the most important sessions that you can have at any event. Oh yes, I love the fun, but research and letting your voice be heard is so important. And the reason why I'm kind of like really harping on that is because the consortium is really about making change in the bigger picture. And so one of the ways that we can do this, and this is just a plug for everyone, whenever there is research in your area, whenever you see something that says, hey, we want to hear your voices, they really do. Like I've learned that Vertex really do. When you go to their focus groups and their round tables, they really do want to hear your voice. And so if you ever thought that your voice did not matter, come to one of our events and you will know that every event since the pandemic or even beyond before that, we have made space. We have had focus groups, we have had roundtables, we have had little discussions. And if you were at the convention, you saw we had a little room where you can come in. Those were super exciting, but we are making sure that your voice is heard no matter what sessions we have. So anyway, yes, progress is something that we're going to start off with. We're kicking it off as the pre-con. But after that, woo!
So wait, hold on. Before you go into after that, she's being very modest. She says I am, but I've been very, very impressed by Sharonda because she didn't study research, but she has been on top of it as we have designed and just worked on the research study. So I just need to say that. But yes, progress is just a teeny tiny piece that's happening at the very beginning. And then we're going to get into the bulk of the meeting.
Woo! And it's a lot.
It is.
Yeah, we always try to like cram back a lot of information because there's a lot that people want to know about. But the first day we are going to have a welcome, and I'm not going to go down the entire agenda, but just know, if you know the consortium, we're going to have a digital engagement and welcomes on that first day. We're going to introduce the entire team and make sure that you guys know who everyone is and how you can reach us. We are using Hoover again. We're going back to Hoover, which I absolutely love. That was a platform that we started back in 2020, and I feel like at this point, Hoover, y'all need to give us a check because we've been like really but Hoover is who we're going to be using again. So if you have not registered, Register today at scdcaregivers.org. And you can register while we're talking. You can register after while we're talking, but it is up to you. But you can register for the conference. It is all virtual. You do not have to leave your home for it at all. But on the second day, and I know Dr. Bailey probably has the agenda up, we
I
are going.
do.
I see. I already know my friend. So, Dr. Bailey, after the welcome and after the digital engagement, so come, because first of all, this comment right here, I just got to put it up. I'm looking forward to it. The leadership board is popping in the community. Listen, this is why I love our community. Even after an event is over, people are still talking on the community board. Conversations are still happening. And if you were in there before, you already know certain people. I have found people are saying, hey, are you coming to the Caregiver Summit? It is so awesome. And yes, the leaderboard is popping. So make sure you get in there and start networking with the people, because it is popping. So I know I sound a little old because I'm saying popping, and I know that's not how you say it. My nephews were probably like, "Hey, Rhonda, don't say it like that." But Dr. Bailey, I'm going to move on to you. What is the next thing after the welcome? I forgot. After progress on
Yeah, let me go right into it. Yeah, Thursday. So you mentioned a second ago, though, about registration at
Yes.
citycaregivers.org. However, I have to do it because we have a contest going on. If you need a scholarship, message me.
No, me.
Not Sharonda, not another member of the team. Message me and I will give you a code. Nope. It's my turn. Nope. Okay. You said I'm testing it over to Lakia. Message me in Facebook, send me a text, whatever. I will give you a code. If you need the scholarship, we want to make sure anybody that wants to be in that space to learn can be. So registration is very helpful. It helps us to pay for things. But if you need a scholarship, there is no judgment. Just ask. That's literally it. And ask me, very specifically me, and I will give you my code so that we can get that scholarship over to you. And please believe I use the scholarship code whenever it's offered me to any meeting, because, money is interesting. So let me tell you about the agenda. After you message me, just take a minute. Check on Facebook. Okay, you're messaging me. Great. So let me tell you all about it. Progress Pre-Con, we start tomorrow, Thursday, November 16th. We are going to have that closed session. And I did send a message over, if you saw me looking down, just to make sure that it's clearly marked that is closed. It was open for registrants, and there might be a couple of spaces left, but it ends at 50 in Progress Pre-Con. If you didn't already register, I'm fairly certain it is probably too late. Then we're going to have a check help-in desk for those of you that are familiar with Hoover but have questions. We encourage everybody to just check in and say, hey, I'm here. I'm checking in, just like you would if you were going into the hotel or a convention center where you would check in, let us know you're here at the event. Virtually it is. If you're new to Hoover, there's a Zoom link. There's ways to check in. You can also email tech support at sicklecellconsortium.org. TECH tech support, and just let them know, hey, I'm new, I'm trying to get in, I'm struggling, and they will walk you through it, give you a Zoom link to talk in person. Wonderful team that does that. That's for tomorrow. It's from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Anytime in there, check in for that help desk. And then we're going to have an opening ceremony tomorrow where you're going to hear a little bit from me and Sharonda, see a bit of a little slideshow for you. And you're going to hear from Carly, as well as do a fun engagement activity. But you are at the beginning of that going to get a word from our title sponsor, Vertex Pharmaceutical. And it's just our way of saying, hey, meeting is started. Let's get going. Here's the opening ceremony. And it should be a lot of fun. And as you know, we also like to make these things engaging. So there's fun stuff sprinkled throughout, but there'll be prizes and lots of laughter. I tend to just say my couple little nerdy, boring words and then turn it over to the Sharondas and Dominiques and Lanitas of the world who have all the levity, where I'm sitting, awkwardly in the corner and let them keep it fun and light, and they're brilliant at it. I know my role. I know my limits. So it's okay. I'm not angry. I understand, and I'm so grateful to be surrounded by fun folks. And that is what we're doing tomorrow. And then we will get started right back up the next morning. Sharonda, you want me to run right on into the next day? Friday?
Yes, please. If you can run right into it, because I did want to ask these two beautiful people about that roundtable and focus group. So let's talk
Absolutely.
to them about what's happening on Friday.
Absolutely. So we're going to end that on Thursday. There's a little bit of a part 2 of the pre-con for those of you that have registered for the progress, patient reported outcomes to grow engagement among sickle cell stakeholders. It's about priority setting for patient and caregivers, as we mentioned before, those valued outcomes, patient and caregiver valued outcomes. That's going to be briefly from 10 to 12. And then at 1, we're coming right back in on Friday with the welcome from the host org, which would be us, engagement activity. You're going to hear from my mother, Doris Bailey, and Vanessa Rhodes. And then we're going to have engagement activity with Elsa Franco and Dominique Goodson. And that gets us going at 1 on Friday. We're going to get our disease education in, lung health and the cold season, kidney, liver, gallbladder, the organs, functions. We have Dr. Titi Fasipe coming in for that. And then we have preventative and prophylactic care, sickle cell trait education. So we have male warrior health and female warrior health. So priapism and male warrior health with Dr. Zima Patel, menstruation, menopause, and woman warrior health with Dr. Lydia Pecker. And then a networking break with SC3, as well as sort of an open hour to visit the booths. And then we run right in that evening into caregiver roundtables. And one of the caregiver roundtables that we do have is an open session with Vertex.
With Vertex. And so I would love for you guys to kind of talk to the community about what that roundtable is about, because I know, but I think they need to know, and we do have a sign up sheet for it as well. So I want people to know exactly what that roundtable is for.
Great. So we will have a policy roundtable, and that will be a discussion around some of the priorities that have been identified from the sickle community and how we at Vertex are working with the community in partnership across various states to really push for improved outcomes through legislation around sickle cell disease. Scott, you want to elaborate on some of the
Now, these are the most important forums we can have to learn directly from the community themselves. In this case, the caregivers who play such an amazing and critical role in helping care for their warriors, ensure they're getting what they need, and also being the voice when they don't have one in the rooms where they may not be, or when they are dealing with complications from life as a warrior. So for us to hear directly what the community's needs are, what are you experiencing, what have you tried, what is working, what is not working, and importantly, how can we all work together to lead to better care for the warriors, better outcomes, and better days ahead. So these are really, really important videos. I do need to say, though, I looked at the other 7 roundtables too, and it's an incredibly strong slate, and I wish that I and probably everyone could be in each of them because, man, is that packed full. And also just for everything else that's preceding that, y'all are going to be tired come Friday night, because that is a day full of sickle celebrities who are dropping knowledge and are going to be just leading some really impactful discussions. So everyone's going to be tired. We're going to need some caffeine, but we're excited for it.
You are right about that. I'm going to need I'm gonna need some Starbucks. I really am. But I'm super excited. Now I wanted to a policy. This is a conversation that you normally don't see like at caregiver summits and things like that. And so I just wanted to commend you guys for having that particular conversation. What was the reason behind that particular conversation for Vertex, for the caregivers?
Yeah. I think it goes back really when Vertex, as I think many in the community know, we've been partnered with another company called CRISPR Therapeutics for a number of years, going back almost a decade in sickle cell. And when our program got to a certain stage, we took over, we really want to come in and really talk to the experts and understand, okay, what can we do with our platform, with our energy, with our drive, with our commitment to the community to help change things for as many warriors, as many caregivers as we can, not just here in the US, what can we do elsewhere as well? And so you can't have that conversation until you spend a lot of time listening. And that's really where we started, was trying to listen to community, and not everyone's experience. The experience someone has in Mobile, Alabama is different than the experience someone has in New York City. And so how do we understand what this whole patchwork looks like? How can we figure out what tools are available to make things better? What has been tried? What hasn't had the right support? And also, who else can we enlist? How to create this coalition of folks who are looking to drive forward change and progress for warriors, for caregivers, for communities. We've been really fortunate to have Dr. Bailey on stage at the National Congress of Black State Legislatures, NBCSL, who represent the various states all of us live in. Well, I live in Washington, D.C., so I don't have a state, but almost. And to hear directly from warriors, to bring them into those who have the power and ultimately help put them to work with us, for us. So for us, policy is where so much of this should begin, because it is one of the most immediate ways to help folks live easier, better, healthier lives.
Yeah, I'm glad you explained that, because the last part is really impactful, because people don't think that policy is a way to help and to really affect change, because they're like, does my voice matter? Do they really care about what I'm saying? And people associate that with the elections, and they associate that with all of but they don't know that you can have bills to go to, the House, but in order for that to happen, you got to have the voice of the people to, and that buy-in from the community before you can do it to anyone else, or present it to anyone else. So I think this is a very important conversation. So thank you guys for bringing that. And that's a round table. Now, again, that is a sign-up sheet. So if you look into Hoover, there's going to be an announcement today that's going to have a sign-up sheet where you have to click it and do Sign-up Genius. Now, those of you that are coming in a little bit late and you're like, I want to go to that session, I want to be a part of that round table, that is the only round table that you will have to sign up for on that day. Every other one is open, but this is a specific conversation that we want to make sure that you guys show up and you are a part of this conversation. You really understand what it is that you're talking about. So I'm glad that, Vertex was here to explain it. So thank you for that.
And if I can say one more thing, Sharonda, which is, if folks are torn between a session, and we know that there's so many other important things, we are always here and eager to listen. And so Tasha and I have the great privilege of being out here out in front with many of the organizations. We also have a team of grassroots patient advocacy groups who are leaders who are out in the communities, 7 of them across the United States. And if there's ever something you want us to hear, something you think we should know, something that you're seeing, please always feel free to reach out. The excellent team of SC3 certainly knows how to get in touch with us. But again, it's such a privilege to get to meet and listen and learn from you all. And we are always here listening.
That's
our colleagues in the field, our grassroots colleagues, will be at that round table, so that if you want to get to know them and know the regions in which they work, we will be connecting you there. And these roundtables are this roundtable for the summit is actually an extension of roundtables we partner with the community on at the state level to really affect change. So we hope that this will spawn some other conversations and opportunities to engage with policymakers in various states to continue the discussion. And I know you were going to ask us next about our focus group, right?
I am. Me too. And I was going to let everyone know. Now, this roundtable, it is in competition with 3 other talks, but it is not your only chance to connect with Vertex, because the next day and the next day, we have opportunities to hear from and connect with you all. So, yep, that was both Sharonda and I will probably headed right there next. Before you hop into that, though, do you want to say, I guess you don't have to, but at 1:00 on that Saturday, after we go through, we have the lunch and learn. Yeah, before the next focus group. So if you wanted to go, you don't have to, but at 1.
I think that's important. Yeah, the lunch and learn, because we always love the lunch and learns from Vertex, and the last year Lunch and Learn, I mean, you guys had to like, y'all had some questions afterwards. People were tracking y'all down. So can you talk a little bit about who was actually going to be presenting at your Lunch and Learn and what your topic is on that one?
Sure. So our lunch and learn is really focused on Vertex's approach to sickle cell disease. That's kind of how we titled it. And we're not a one-trick pony, so we really are going to share with you our plans to work in sickle cell disease, not just limited to our gene editing approach. And we will have an introduction to the company for those of you not familiar with Vertex, as well as delve into our particular approach that's currently investigational, which is gene editing using CRISPR-Cas9, which is very exciting. And I know a mouthful, but we look to have a presentation by Dr. Marjorie Brewer to present that medical scientific side. So she and I tag team this talk and we nerd out. So everyone always laughs because we do our little V. Oh gosh, there it is. So we're Vertexians, and we're going to share with you kind of our nerdy approach to sickle, break down some of that complex science, and then answer any questions. But after that, on Sunday, we have a new role, which we are so excited about, called patient educators. So we're going to be joined not only by our grassroots team and our medical colleagues, but by a new team called patient educators within Vertex. And Farah, who represents the Northeast section of the United States, is a patient educator who will be joining us for a conversation, a more in-depth kind of lay-friendly discussion, an overview of not only sickle cell disease and its causes, but looking at the genetic approaches for warriors and caregivers who really want to understand gene therapy. And she's going to break down a website that I know that many of you have seen as postcards and your mailings called Gene Possibilities. So she'll go through a discussion of what possibilities there are in terms of genetic approaches utilizing gene therapy, not just gene editing, but all types of gene therapies. So that should be a very interesting conversation because the Lunch and Learn is specific to gene editing, but the conversation on Sunday will be gene therapy.
Yeah, and if I can add something on that, I think just like how this event came into being, where Dr. Bailey and the team heard from the community they needed something for caregivers. In the same way, as we nerd out and get really excited about what the potential role could be of all of these different approaches, we also kept hearing from the community, we need to understand this better. We need more education. We need education in our communities. And so we heard you. We heard the community, and we have built out this new function whose only role is to get out there and educate, is to make sure that communities, warriors, and caregivers are empowered with the information, that they are equipped to have the conversations and ask great questions and figure out, is this something that may or may not be something for them, for their warrior, for someone in their life, and ultimately just to make whatever decisions right for them. And as you hear all these words getting thrown around genetics, gene editing, gene therapy, gene insertion, all these things, if you're a nerd like me, I guess you're really excited. If you're not a nerd and you haven't had experience with it, part of our job is to help unlock the excitement of what this is and help folks objectively understand everything they need to understand, the benefits, the risks, everything else, to make whatever the right choice is for them. So that's part of why we are bringing this team forward. Education is power, knowledge is power, and ultimately we want to help empower community through education.
It is fantastic. It's good stuff. I think you're going to find that a lot of us are nerds. I know that I am, and we tend to nerd out together, especially Marjorie Brewer. She, yeah. I get it, Tasha. Because when you're with Marjorie, you can't help but nerd out with her. But I love that. And I think it's incredibly insightful and amazing that you all do respond to the community the way that you do, because it's incredibly important, especially in this space, in sickle cell space. We don't engage the way that I've noticed some disease groups do. You really do have to connect with this community. It can't be here. Look at this awesome therapy that we did for you. We respond to, here's something that we've done with you. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. And for anyone out there who may be affiliated with a CBO, who may think, boy, I would really appreciate some additional education too, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to connect you with folks, because this team's role is to get out into communities, not just at large community events, but whether it's a couple of families, whether it's a small CBO in Louisiana, whatever the case may be, that's what we're here for. And that's what we're hoping to do.
Oh, and I love that. And I do want to bring it back just for a second. Talking about nerding out, you guys did such a great job at the convention nerding out with the kids, and they absolutely, I know they absolutely
so much fun.
And when I tell you, and that's when I think about, you know, the nerd out, because that we have Dr. Bailey, who is our pocket nerd. Anything you need to know, just ask her; she's going to know it. And I just think that is so cool that our community, there's a lot of us that just nerd out. They're like, it's not just the surface questions. They're going to ask the hard questions. And you guys have been able to, you really, you know, stand your ground and like, okay, here's my answer. Or I don't know the answer. We'll get back to you. And and I absolutely love it. So I'm excited that you guys are going to be talking about those two different things, because a lot of people don't know that there is a difference between editing and what's the other one?
Just all the treatments, honestly.
Yeah,
they're all so different.
Yeah,
and the gene editing, they're all different. And even within this space, there's CRISPR-Cas9, there's Cas12, there's base editing, there's the bluebirds. There's just so much. And I think we're getting better at sharing that information, but there's a lot of it there. And it was then. So I know that the Warrior Convention that we do it's different than a lot of the other spaces. But when I walked into one room and we had rows of microscopes lined up with children studying blood, and then a bit earlier than that, you had you all teaching them and walking through. I was like, oh yeah, we're different. This is a nerdy conference, but I loved it. And they had so much fun with you all.
It was an absolute blast. we love it.
And for the caregiver summit, what I and the reason why I kind of brought that is because for the caregivers being able to train up their children, because what we're also talking about is that caregivers are not just the adults. We have little caregivers, and everybody knows about my little caregiver, Evan. He is so amazing, but he loves learning about different things, so that when something is going on with me, he's like, okay, Rhonda, this is what's happening. This is what I think. And I'm like, okay, I'm in pain. So, you know, go ahead and go through all of your things that you're thinking. But it's just so amazing for caregivers and the younger ones to see, you know, you guys nerd out on it and teaching them this information, because, and just a plug for everybody, your children are invited to the caregiver center. And the thing that Vertex has been able to do, especially with the Lunch and Learn with Marjorie and Miss Tasha, is you guys have been able to bring it down to layman's terms where people are able to understand it. They're able to relate to what you're saying. And I think that is super important in this community, because if it's going to go over our head, we're going to sit there and we're going to grill you on it. But you guys have learned the art of breaking it down and making sure that everybody in the room is understanding, you know, well, at least you're trying to connect with everybody in the room. And so I just want to, you know, say that that's one of the things for all of our events. We've always asked that whenever you're speaking, make sure you're speaking, you know that you're speaking to a very intelligent community, a community that's very inquisitive, and a community that does not mind asking the hard questions. And that goes for our children too. If you've ever heard of Jaden Lewis, you know that he's going to ask the hard questions. And so I'm very impressed by the fact that you guys are continuously thinking of ways to connect with this community at our events. Now, one of the things that we are also doing that you guys are a part of is the ceremony on Sunday, the last day.
Oh, wait. Before we jump into that, right after that Lunch and Learn, you guys have an hour's focus group.
Oh, that's right.
Let's talk a little bit about that very quickly, because you have a focus group the next day as well, and they're different. So would you tell us a little bit about what you all have planned that Saturday and that Sunday? And you know, I might be wrong. I'm now beginning to wonder. Let me know if
we actually don't have one Saturday. We just have one on Sunday.
Walking with Warriors was canceled. I got you. I'm with you. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna flag Walking with Warriors because we did put an ad in the program book. So this is an effort that we met with many of you at prior conferences and caregivers, some opportunities to really understand what are some of the needs that the caregiver community has in sickle cell disease. What are some of the priorities and areas in which there's need for more resources? And we are working with the consortium. We're going to be working with the consortium to create as well as collate information that already exists for caregivers in this Walking with the Warriors website, which just launched last week. And we actually didn't push it out until Caregiver Summit. But this is on that website, you'll see pictures of caregivers and their warriors sharing their stories of challenges that they face, obstacles, as well as opportunities that they found to overcome some of those through different solutions. And so we really want to continue to work in those areas with the community. And if you see other needs that aren't being addressed from a caregiver perspective, please do share, because we know that so much attention has been placed on the warriors for so long that we know that their caregivers also need supports and resources. And so we're so proud, again, to sponsor the Caregiver Summit and to support the caregiver community. Because there was that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. And so we have to give water. We talked about hydration. We have to give water to the caregivers too. So we need to give them the resources and tools and toolboxes and all the other stuff that you create for the warriors to the caregivers so that they can pour from their cup into their warriors. So that's kind of what this effort is about.
I like that. Am I
too.
able to share that link or not yet? So
You can share it. Yeah, this is
we're breaking news. Let's do it.
Okay, because I'm like, wait, I don't know if I'm able to share it or not. Okay.
Breaking news. You heard it here first. I love that.
Live on Sharonda TV.
I love that.
Yes, because I was like, first of all, I was so excited when I saw, because I have to like look at all of the videos and all of the things, but I was so super excited when I saw it because I saw people that I know. So, I don't know if you guys can see it. Please let me know if you can see it on the screen.
Yes.
But this is Walking with Warriors. It is so awesome. So yeah, there is something in the book. So we are they won't be talking about it here at the Caregiver Summit, but please stay connected. And we are definitely going to let you guys know when there is another conversation about it. And I'm not going to go through it because I don't want to get everybody like, I want to talk about it. I want to know. So I just put the link in the chat.
And go by the booth though.
Exactly. Right. Go by the booth and ask questions. Yeah. Because I was looking at it, and the focus group is the next day, but before the award ceremony that evening. So if I would love to also hear a little bit about Farrah Gray, that bit. And if you could tell us a little bit more, and then we can show you all how to be part of that.
Yes.
Definitely. So Farrah is our patient educator with our Vertex team, and she's going to present a high-level overview of sickle cell disease. We don't have to really share too much about that unless there's some new caregivers, where she'll discuss some of the causes, the symptoms, the impact, existing treatment options, and lifestyle choices that caregivers have to consider for especially their children who are living with the disease. And it will have an overview of gene therapy, the approaches, the background, introduction to genetics, and how gene therapy works and what that journey might look like for an individual who's considering.
Yeah, I think one of the really important elements too is so many of these conversations start with problems with genes, as though genes are a bad thing. And I think oftentimes we skip the kind of on-ramp into that conversation, which is that genes are what make us us. It's what makes our bodies function. There's so much beauty. There's so many impressive things about our genes, and we need to celebrate that too. And yes, occasionally there's something genetic that we may need to address or to go in and try to change to help us live a better life. And so again, that's what I think is so powerful about types of education like this. It helps give you the tools, the building blocks. We're not starting on the third floor. We're starting at the ground level to help people build that foundation of knowledge, to help them understand not just one thing, but all things in context. So that's what I think is really the power of that type of approach, and part of why we're so excited to share it with the community.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yeah, that was really good. That was a good breakdown. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dr. Bailey.
No, I was just saying that that's a fantastic, and I think that that's going to be very, very fun and important. And that is on Sunday, everyone, right after the lunch and learn. It is from 2 to 3. And so let's tell them how to participate, Sharonda.
Yes. So for the focus groups and the roundtables, you will have to sign up on Sign Up Genius. But before you do that, you have to make sure that you have registered for the Caregiver Summit. And if you go to scdcaregivers.org, you can register right now. And we would love to see you and meet you and have you a part of all of these conversations. But yes, in order for those that are already registered for the Caregiver Summit, what we're going to do is put it into Hoover, and I'm going to put it on the community board because you guys are really talking over there. So I'm going to make sure I put it on the community board as well, but you can sign up through there. Now, if in fact you don't have time to sign up or you forgot to sign up, no worries. The day of, we will always do announcements, and you'll probably have the announcements with me or Dominique, and we'll remind you to sign up for those sessions. What usually happens is everybody wants to go to the sessions, but some of the roundtables, yeah, exactly, roundtables and focus groups are a little bit limited this time, only because they really do want to hear who's talking in the room and making sure that there's conversation and that no one is left behind not being able to say something. So I really understood exactly why the sessions, the amount of people there at the sessions, why they have said it that way is because they're having these conversations, all around America. And so I think having it at this event and keeping it to a certain number is going to help them really focus in on your thoughts, on your voice. And so I want to make sure that if you want to, you have to sign up as quick as possible, because once I put it out there today, people are going to sign up super quick and they're going to be calling me. So y'all have the first scoop that I am sending that out today as an announcement in Hoover. But yes, going to register. You're going to sign up through Sign Up Genius like we do every year for our focus groups and roundtables.
And it is limited. So go ahead and get that in. The same thing I wanted to say as well, that these focus groups, and there are several that you will be part of the next few days, are limited. So go ahead and sign up to be part of these very important discussions. Absolutely.
So
and then we're not done with you all, because you guys are then going to give us comments. And let's just tell you all really quickly about one of the things that we really love doing. So, you can check out the agenda, lots of other sessions in addition to these. There's lots of education. There's research and policy, guiding your child to early independence, understanding workplace rights as a caregiver. There's sessions for minors. And I just looked, we've got 20 under the age of 17 minor caregivers. And I think I saw 17, or maybe it was 19 under the age of 14 warriors that are attending. So there's a nice size minor group there, and you all will be able to connect with us at youth activities and workshops. Some really fun stuff there. Movie night. That's Saturday, we get into Sunday. There's going to be some great engagement activities. This session, the focus groups, the Ask a Doctor /Scientist, your questions regarding curative therapies with Dr. Akshay Sharma. And then we're going to get into the Caregiver Award ceremony and the Caregiver Tributes. And this is also a way of acknowledging the caregivers and how unbelievably important you are to us, and how much it means to have the caregivers, that you all are really what keeps us going. And I'm saying that as a warrior with all the various types of caregivers in my life. And so Vertex really wanted an opportunity to say something there as well. And we were excited to be able to have that option for them, to be able to say a few words at that ceremony about how just important it is to award nominations were open for quite a length of time. They are closed now. We do have our awardees, but just very, very excited to be a part of this. Scott or Tasha, I don't know if you wanted to add anything there, or Sharonda.
Now, I think it's just so important for all these events to take the time to celebrate the community, the beauty in the community, the strength in the community, and what each one of you do for your warriors every day
Yes.
is just phenomenal. I know having the opportunity to say that thank you, to share and to give yourself time to accept that acknowledgement is I think really, really meaningful. I think it's one of the things that makes this event so special. So, I know many of the community events have the celebration. I think this time too, also the acknowledgement and the commemoration of the role that caregivers play every single day is so important. So we're so happy to be a part of it.
Well, we thank you. Oh, Sharonda.
No, I was just gonna say, yes, I absolutely love the ceremony. Last year, yeah, and I'm gonna bring it up, Dr. Bailey. Last year we had
Oh, boo.
last year we had Dr. Bailey's sister. We surprised her, and her sister came in. And the reason why it was important to us is because people think that, oh, Dr. Bailey and Dr. this, but she's a person, she's a warrior, and she has caregivers. And her caregivers are which I mean, they run deep, okay? And her sister came in to celebrate, and even though it was for the celebration was for caregivers, she as a caregiver got a chance to express something to her warrior. And that right there was like, yes, because oftentimes, like with events like this, if it's directed towards the caregivers, then yes, let's celebrate the caregivers. But to see a caregiver say, hey, warrior, you have been such a vital part of my life, and because of you I've been able to do a x, y, and z. And like, she went through an entire list of how her warrior has encouraged her. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you're thinking about warriors and how we're super excited about the caregivers, but I think the caregivers being able to express themselves during this summit and being able to just say what's on their heart was also very, very, like, just amazing to see, to hear, and to experience. And I think a lot of times for our events, we try to especially the warriors, we try to like be very, oh, let's make sure that everybody has this education. But the human side of us all is that we just want somebody to love us, to understand us, and to care for us. And I think this caregiver summit last year proved that warriors and caregivers alike, everyone deserves to be celebrated. And so I just want to say thank you to all of the caregivers. And Dr. Bailey said we have all types. We have caregivers that are family. We have caregivers that are friends. We have caregivers that are advocates. Like when we're out and about, I cannot tell you how many caregivers I had at SCDAA. I was like, wait, what's happening here? Everybody's like, hey, Sharonda, did you have something to drink? Sharonda, you need to sit down. Sharonda. And I was like, wait, what? And it was just amazing. And without those caregivers, no matter what role you play in a warrior's life, you are important. And I think that ceremony it's going to just shine a light on how important our caregivers are. That was a long one to say, but of course,
No, they got me with that one. Wasn't expecting it. My sister popped up on the screen. I'm trying to be behind the scenes because I'm not a caregiver, and now I'm crying in front of like 400 or 500 people. Thank you so much for that. I cry a lot. Usually, though, my tears are because I'm exhausted, not because I'm so emotionally moved. And that was an experience, but it was beautiful. I do vow to get Sharonda back in a very way. But yeah, it's I agree, and I ditto everything that Sharonda just said. That you all are very important to us.
You're very important.
And I had this conversation with my nephew yesterday, maybe day before, about how, yes, he is a caregiver and what that means, and how he's been a caregiver since he was very little. When I forgot to sleep with my oxygen one night and woke up with chest pain, and he brought it to me. 2 liters, TT. I don't want to see that again. And he was chastising me at like 3 years old. So he's been a caregiver his whole life, and they start young and they know so much. And so caregiver doesn't always mean mom or dad.
Yes.
Sometimes it's your 3-year-old nephew. It's your best friend from high school. It is that work friend that you really only ever spend time with at work, but they know your health situation
Exactly.
and brings you that glass of water. Like, you look like you're doing too much. Why don't you rest a bit?
Exactly.
Caregiver means a lot of things. And this summit is open to all of you. And we're very grateful to Vertex for continuously supporting the work that we do. You have for many years now, and we are very grateful.
Absolutely. And so this is we're ending our broadcast, and so I just want to open up the floor to Tasha or Scott to say one last thing about, your experience or anything you want to say to the community before we end with you guys, and then we're going to share a little bit more about the summit.
So I just want to just chime in that she's been on this live for a minute, but Terry is my cousin. So she is the mother of the youngest sickle cell warrior in my family, and I remember when she first called in 2020, when we call her our warrior princess in our family. But when she was first born, it was during COVID. And she called me all distraught, and I was like, you have to join and tune in to the consortium. And that was the first year that they had the Caregiver Summit. And she and the full family tune in every consortium event. But she's been on this live. But this is the reason I do what I do. And I'm so proud that she's always in support of me, and I'm always supporting her and our warriors in our family. But the resources and things that you guys put together for this community is undoubtedly unlike any other. And I applaud you and all that you do, and how you continue to innovate and come up with new and amazing things for the community. I want to thank you, and I'm going to turn it over to Scott, but I got to run. But thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you all at the summit this week. And leaving it to you, Scott.
Yeah, that's hard to follow. That's hard to follow. But again, I think that last word of thank you. Thank you for welcoming us to your table. Thank you for sharing your stories, your thoughts, your struggles with us. Thank you for trusting us to work with you, for you. And again, thank you for everything you all do to support one another, to support your communities, and to, again, support us in the work we're trying to do in our labs with our science, and hopefully to bring about better days for the warriors, not just here, but worldwide. So thank you all very much. Excited for the event. And thank you specifically to SC3 for everything you do and for your partnership and friendship over the last few years.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, Tasha. Thank you, Vertex. Thank you, Sharonda, and everyone here. Don't forget to go to scdcaregivers.org. If you need a scholarship, don't forget to message me, Lakia Bailey, and I will get you a code. And thank you so much, Scott. We're very, very grateful. And any of you that's tuning in and you wonder about office hours for our partners, that is starting in about 5 minutes. So we'll be there with you shortly. Thank you so much, Scott. See you all very soon, everyone. We get started tomorrow.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Bailey. I know that office hours are getting started, so I'm going to let you pop off, where I'm going to share the flyer on for the summit. And people are asking me about the flyer in the chat, and so I want to send it over to you guys, and you can definitely share it on your social media pages. Oh, go ahead, Dr. Bailey.
I know your games. When I pop off, she's going to tell y'all to use her code. No. Use my code. So message me if you need a scholarship. She said, "Oh, no, you can go ahead. I got this."
She said, well, you know what? Kiara talking about, I have a code give out as well. Kiara, ma'am, you on here too. Kiara is our social media, one of our social interns in social media, y'all. And so if y'all see her in the chat, you can message her, but message me first.
See how they do me. No.
We do have a little competition going on with the team, so wait, Tara, you're gonna message Dr. Bailey. Wait a minute.
Okay, thank you. Just
Terry.
message me. I got you. Listen,
Terry.
right now.
Terry,
I
really?
got you.
Terry, really? So you just gonna do me like that? You gonna do me like that? Okay. Well, y'all, the event starts on the 16th and it goes through all the way through the 19th. Somebody was asking, like, is it the 15th or the 16th? It is definitely, I mean, not the 16th or the 17th. It is the 16th. So we have pre-con on the 16th, as Dr. Bailey said earlier. So if you was not here, pre-con is on the 16th. That is just there's going to be a session that morning, and then we have check-ins, and then we will have the opening ceremony that evening on the 16th. And then you can go to scdcaregivers.org to look at the agenda, but that is a real thing that is happening. It is on the 16th.
Several days.
Yes,
Just to be clear, it is going on for several days. So it
yes.
doesn't end until the 19th.
Exactly. So just know that you can definitely come in and join us. We're super excited about one call that I want to have today is for the men. This caregiver summit is not just for the ladies. Men, we are calling you out to come and be a part of this event. You are super important in the journeys of warriors in the caregiver space. There is a space and opportunity for your voice to be heard as well. We do have an entire roundtable discussion just for men. So come on out and be a part of those conversations. Again, you are important. We appreciate you and all of your work that you've done behind the scenes. We appreciate you, Papa Bears that are out there. We want to honor and support you as well. So please make sure you are joining. Go to scdcaregivers.org. So ladies, let your husbands, your uncles, your cousins, the fiancés to come in and be a part of it as well. And one more, I have two more things. And then the other thing is Golden Warrior. We really didn't talk about that much today, but Dr. Bailey, if you could just kind of give them a little bit about the Golden Warrior experience. Well, we started it at the convention and we are carrying it on, and it's probably going to be a part of our upcoming events as well. But Dr. Bailey, if you can talk a little bit about the Golden Warrior.
Absolutely. This is something that we did brand new this year, and it was recognizing that we are getting older. Praise God. We are have our warriors that are getting past 30 and 40, and that is amazing. I never ever say a lady doesn't share her age, because I share mine boldly. I am 45. I have sickle cell disease and I am 45.
Be bold.
I'm honored to have made it this long, and I share my age very broadly because this is an amazing thing to have lived as long as many of us have. For a long time, I was the youngest sickle cell warrior that I knew. And I mean, not youngest, I'm sorry. I was the oldest sickle cell warrior that I knew. I didn't know many, mind you, but those that I kept meeting, I was the oldest that I knew. And that was a very difficult spot to be in. And now I know so many 55 and older, 65 and older. We have some octogenarians in our community. And so that is just amazing. So anyway, at the convention, we decided 55 and older, come and join us. And we gave scholarships. We did a lot of cool, fun things for them. Sent them to the spa, sent them out to brunch with parents of young warriors. It was just cool. Lovely way to just honor, recognize it for our 10th anniversary. And again, we want to continue to work with our older warriors, those that are golden. So if you are 55 and older, come on and be a part of the summit. You also have a code to make your registration completely free. Yes. And for your code, you can email caregivers@sicklecellconsortium.org and go on and register and join us, because having you there and having you available to talk to parents of young warriors to see that my 3-year-old that's had their first crisis could possibly live to be 85 is just a beautiful thing. And so we welcome you, and the consortium is just really excited to honor you and continue to think about ways that we can work together to celebrate our golden warriors.
Absolutely. And then the last thing, we talked about age, and we talked about, everyone is able to come. And I was going to put up my my flyer about my kids, but it just will not pull
Whoa.
up. So I'm going to pull up my flyer about scholarships here. Scholarships are still available, and this is for the entire family. This event is for the entire family. So I just will say, if in fact you do want to come and you are in need of a scholarship, please email caregivers@sicklecellconsortium.org, like Dr. Bailey just talked about, so that we can get you guys in there. We don't want money to be a reason why you do not come and be a part of this event. We want to meet you. We want to support you. So please make sure you are showing up. And then we have the movie night. Movie night is going to be super fun. We're going to watch a cute movie, but we're also going to have a discussion about the movie. So make sure that you are there for the movie night. And is that on that's on Saturday night.
That's on Saturday. And we chose a great movie, but I need everybody to join us and watch, because there is a moment in that movie that I just wait, hold on. What is happening right now? And I just need everyone to watch so that I can know if you had the exact same reaction that I have during a particular moment in that movie. And it's a lovely movie. It's not anything scary or graphic, or it was just a moment that gave me like,
Gave her pause.
I looked over at my mother and she was like, yeah, that's happening. So please register and watch this movie with us on Saturday night.
That I have not watched it all the way through, so I'm wanting to watch it so that I can get my real true reaction to it, and I'm going to video my reaction so that I can know that, so Dr. Bailey can see my true reaction to it. This is so fun. I'm super excited about it. And the last thing I want to say is a big shout out and thank you to Vertex as our title sponsor. This session was to have a conversation with them, to really talk to them about, as you heard, all of the things that they're going to be doing there, but to just thank them for sponsoring this event. And like they said, this is the third year that they've been that they've sponsored this event. And I'm so super happy that we do have a title sponsor, because we want to make sure that your packages are awesome. And also,
oh, good point. Can we just take a second?
Yes, we can take a second.
Things. Yes, you are getting amazing packages, a little different. We're repeating what we did last year, in that it is not going to go to every box automatically. Mm-hmm. There will be a link during the meeting. We're going to post it several times. You must click the link in the session and fill out a very quick form with the actual address where you want your box to go. Unfortunately, we will not be able to ship outside of the US and Canada, but if you complete that link, it will go to your amazing box, and you will, though, have to click the link. And since someone will ask, yes, there are lunch cards. Lunch cards are going to be available on Saturday and Sunday. And in order to get your lunch card, you participate on Friday, you'll get the one for Saturday. When you participate on Saturday, you get the one for Sunday. And then when you participate on Sunday, I think you're enrolled in a raffle giveaway.
That's correct.
So it is lunch cards. The lunch cards already are more than registration costs. Yes. But the box, and we've given out some good boxes, and I've got a whole glitch in the matrix thing happening right now, but I'm going to make sure that we get enough of everything ordered to send it out to all of you, and it's going to be great. There's a certain thing we're putting in the boxes that I could have promised I ordered enough of and saw, but you're all going to get it, I promise. And so glitch in the matrix is happening in my brain, but it's great. So you want to fill that box out so that you can get it, because we care about our caregivers, and we want you all to get this special surprise that we're putting in these boxes. So don't forget to come on. You will get a link, and you have to participate the day before to get the food card for the day after.
Yes, and I'm sorry, that was it. I was trying to come back over here, but that is so funny. I know about the glitch, so I was over here cracking up, trying not to be super loud. But yes, so this is what's happening this week, y'all, and we really want to see y'all there. So again, if you need scholarships, they are still available. And Terry, you got me over here about to cry too. she put this in the chat when y'all was talking about, when Tasha was talking about her little warrior, and I was like, oh, Tara, don't be having us over here crying, because you listen, these lashes will not lash through tears. Don't do me like that. And so Terry said the boxes are amazing every year. I can't believe the goodies. I know. We love showering this community with so much love and support, because as you know, like, this is the one community that really don't get a lot of the attention in the media, and it's sickle cell is not sexy. It's not, it doesn't make a lot of money. And so for us to make sure that we show our warriors, caregivers, and families, let you guys know that you are supported, you are important, and we support you. We do what we can. We don't have a lot of money, and though it's coming,
It's coming.
we do what we can to make sure that every penny that comes in goes out in support of this community. I do want to let you guys know that when you get something from us, it is because we are making sure that you guys get something from every penny that we put in. Every penny that comes in goes out to this community. And I am the director of operations, so I do know that for a fact. Okay.
Yeah.
Dr.
It's true. I mean, it's true. And I was asked the question, how do you all do this? How do you all give out so much? And I mean, I had to be honest. It's because all the money goes right back out into this. It's not going into any of our pockets. So that's what's happening here. And I'm not suggesting others are pocketing it, but what I mean is that we don't make much money. None of us, not even me. We're all essentially classified as volunteers, although that might be changing, and we are all on stipends. So all the money we bring in from our title sponsors and everyone else, it goes right back out. And we're glad to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're so glad to do all the things for this community, because guess what? You deserve it. We deserve it. And why not start showing and leading by example by making sure our community gets the best of everything? Okay, so that's our little chat that we had today. Thank you again to Vertex for joining us, who is our title sponsor. Thank you to all of our sponsors. As you can see, all of our sponsors that are here on this side, we will say thank you to each and every one of them, but also thank you to each and every one of you that are watching, that have registered, that have shared, and that have continued to share. Continue to do that. People can register up until the last day of the event. But please share and let people know that this thing is happening. We got a contest going on. I got a number I'm trying to reach. So message me for your scholarship.
Wait, I know. If you want Sharonda's code, email caregivers@sicklecellconsortium.org. But if you want my code, no, I'm kidding. If you email, you still get the code, but it won't be registered to either of us.
You still get the code. It is all right.
But you can message Sharonda. We just want you there. Seriously. If you want to be there, we want you there. And if finances are an issue, message for the code. If you don't email one of us, it doesn't matter. Kiara, we want you there.
Shamanica, Dominique, if you know anyone, and if you don't know anyone on the team, caregivers@sicklecellconsortium.org, or put it in the chat on here on Facebook or wherever you are, and we can DM you. Well, DM us, because we may not see it because we're working hard for the event for tomorrow. But DM us, send us a message, send up a smoke screen if you want to be there, if your family wants to be there, because every one of our events we invite the children, we invite the entire family. So if you want them to be there, message us. We want to make sure that they are able to be there. All right, that's it. Thank you so much, Dr. Bailey, for joining me. I know you are super busy. You got a lot going on, and I'm just so thankful that you were able to stop and do this live with me and with Vertex. We really, really appreciate you. So glad that you are home. So glad that you are doing better and you are taking back your energy. What did you say? Dang it, I forgot. What did you say about you? Oh man, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to our live so I can say that, because I thought that was so good. I thought it was taking back my energy or something about my energy. But anyway, yeah, I'm so random. I know. But thank you guys all for joining us. We will see you tomorrow for the Caregiver Summit. And that's it for us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Hi, I'm Mariana, and I hope you can join me virtually at the annual Sickle Cell Caregiver Summit, November 16th through 19th. Adults and kids are welcome. You can register at stdcaregivers.org.